Islam. Peace to the universal fam. Peace to man, woman, and child, sun, moon, and stars. Alafia. Hey, welcome back to Black Alchemy, man, where we talk about the spiritual, metaphysical, and mystic things over here on this channel. Yo, if you just so happen to be coming through, hit the subscribe button if you like what you about to see. Been a hit or miss on the timing and putting things up for those who have subscribed, but I will be coming with more material, more things I got to talk about. It's just a timing thing right now, especially with things that's going on in the world. So I had this one I've been wanting to talk about for a while, right? It's going to seem very pseudo to most people, you know what I'm saying? But this is going to be fun. We're going to talk about reincarnation. Yeah, reincarnation. I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. I'm going to start off by saying, like, you can look up and find countless stories of people giving testimonies on having these experiences where they're able to recall their past lives. There's been a lot of information about this coming out, and it seems like Western society is now starting to catch on with it. My bad, Western science, as far as in the field of psychology, are starting to catch on with this, especially having people tap in and seeing their past lives using tools like hypnosis and things like that. So, yo, you can find books in Barnes and Nobles. You can go online, find books. You can find videos all up on YouTube. You can go online and find out what people giving testimonies about past life, recalling things that went on in past life. Okay? So, if so many people are experiencing this, right? Then it's got to be something real about it. Because you got to remember, at our very essence, we are energy. And energy is never lost or destroyed. It is only transferred. You can't destroy the soul. You can't destroy consciousness. You can't destroy spirit. Excuse me. You can't destroy spirit. The body, which is finite, is falsehood. It will fade away. But the soul is eternal. Because the soul is a part of the all, Allah, or the Damare, the source from which everything was created. Man, I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. Reincarnation. Excuse me. Like I said before, energy is never lost or destroyed. It's only transferred. When your spirit soul leaves its body, it has to go somewhere. Remember, the body is finite. It's just a vehicle. This is just one stop out of many. So let's get into it, right? We were taught to measure time by cycles according to our ancestors. Every ending is a new beginning. Every beginning leads to an ending. From birth to death to rebirth. We talking about Scorpio, the 8th house stuff right here, right? So, for those who might be familiar with Tibetan theology, we got what's called the wheel of birth and rebirth that says we reincarnate many times here on earth through each of the 12 zodiac signs. Some people might say 13, some people might say 14. But the thing is, we have multiple lifetimes here that we incarnate into different bodies. That soul, that spirit, the essence of who we really are. We come down here and we do the human thing. Remember, we gods having a human experience. So, what is reincarnation? I got notes too if you see me looking down. What reincarnation is defined as a concept where the soul departs the physical body at that time to incarnate back into a different body at a new time, having a new lifetime with a whole new different type of experience, right? Now, 2/3 of the world population believes in reincarnation. Western society, like I said earlier, or Western science is just now starting to make that turn. Like, hold on. They was calling this pseudo, but now they like, yo, hold on. It might be something to this. This is only because some of those same scientists are starting to have these experiences personally in their life, right? So, today, religion like Christianity might deny reincarnation, but the thing is, in early Christianity, reincarnation was a part of it until it was taken out. Excuse me. Because it was hard to control the people. If the people knew that they might be put to death, they didn't fear what was going on with the Roman Catholic Church at that time. Because, okay, kill me, guess what? I'll come back. So what they did, they had to counter that and come up with the concept of hell. I had to put the chip of fear into the people. That's what they did. You know what I'm saying? So reincarnation was a part of early Christianity. Matter of fact, we still see it in Christianity. When you read, look at the concept of Jesus dying on the cross, coming back after 3 days to rise again. Reincarnation, right? The whole thing with Lazarus, reincarnation, right? I think Jesus even told the disciples that, what was my man? John the Baptist was a reincarnation of Elijah. So it's in there. You just got to know what you're reading. I got notes. I got mad notes. So the Christian church wanted to control people out of fear. Came up with the whole heaven hell concept. Dante's Inferno. And like I said, Jesus has spoken in the book of Matthew about John the Baptist being a reincarnation of Elijah. Now, what makes this real and concrete to us is that, especially in the spiritual metaphysical field, is that we know that, being spirit that's inhabiting a physical body, it's a temporary thing, right? Matter of fact, the soul spirit is the operator of the car. It's just like you get in your car and you driving. You know what I'm saying? You are not the car. You are the consciousness that's behind the wheel that tells the car what direction to go. Same thing with the spirit soul inside of the body. Because remember, the body is finite. You know what I'm saying? So just like a car, when it gets old and start having problems and break down, guess what? You go get another car. Same thing with your body. These bodies get old. You know what I'm saying? We're on borrowed time. That's why we get sick. To let us know that we're on borrowed time. You can't inhabit this body forever. You're on borrowed time. Once you come out of your mother's womb and take your first breath, the clock starts to tick. So what are you going to do with your time? What you going to do with your time? You got a legacy to leave behind. I ain't saying you're going to be perfect. We ain't going to say you're going to be right and just in everything that you do, because remember, this is an illusion. And it's designed to have pitfalls and it's designed to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's finite. There's some things going on here, that's made to throw you off your path and throw you off track. But the beauty is that you recognize what's going on and get back on your path. That's what it's about. That's what takes you to where you need to go. So, we reincarnate into the physical body with the contract that's agreed on at the time of your birth. That zodiac birth chart, that natal chart is a blueprint taken of the heavens at the time you was born. Real talk. I studied a lot of things, right? But I'm going to tell you that birth chart, that natal chart, is on point. It show you everything that's going to go on in your life. It even show you what happened on in the past life. If you know how to read the chart. It's not hard. You just got to put the time in. So that natal chart or that birth chart was a contract that you agreed to at the time of your incarnation into the physical body for this lifetime. Past lifetime, it might have been some things a little bit different, but that exact zodiac chart that you have right now, that's what you agreed to. So everything that's good, you have to accept. Everything that's bad, you have to accept. Because you agreed to it with your signature, which is your sign and your nature. You know what I'm saying? You chose it all. I used to get frustrated, like, man, why this gotta be like this? Why this gotta happen? Why that gotta be like that? But at the end of it all, I agreed to it. And I gotta ride it out until I can fix what needs to be fixed, learn what I need to learn, gain the experience that I need to gain. Now, some people cop out and they have a breach of contract by committing suicide. But guess what? You got to come back and do it again. It's a real thing. Breach of contract. That birth chart is on point. If you ain't got your natal chart done, I suggest that you get it done. It'll show you where you're strong in life. It'll show you where you have your pitfalls at, where you're weak at, and where you need to make improvements. Real talk. I studied a lot of things, but that right there, that gave me my true knowledge of self. Right there. So, not only do we choose our parents, but the names we also choose, the numerical value of the numbers that go along with our birthday. We choose a zodiac sign. This is all part of the contract that we have set up. Now, I say it a lot, everything is governed by law. The law that governs reincarnation is the universal law of cause and effect. Some people call it karma, which only means actions. It ain't no spooky lady in the sky. We talking about reaping what you sow. What you throw out, you're getting back. It's no spook in the sky called karma, deciding I'm going to make you pay for this 10 years from now or tomorrow. No. The only spook you need to be worried about is you. The one you got to face every day in the mirror. Because it is your actions, whether good or bad, that will return to you. Because remember, the universe is a giant mirror. Everything that you dish out is reflected back to you. Most people see karma as some kind of divine payback for wrongdoings, some type of punishment, but really it's not that. It's a lesson to be learned in it, to place you back on the path that you chose when you incarnated here. You know what I'm saying? And we can learn from that. Every hurt, every pain that we cause others and to ourselves, if we don't learn the lessons of compassion and kindness, to ask for forgiveness, we are doomed to repeat the consequences straight up. It's going to come back to us. All negative words, thoughts, and actions, which all have vibrations and frequencies, will attract back to us the same frequencies and vibrations. This is why you must pay attention to how you interact with people. You must govern your mind, govern your thoughts at all times. Because anything that's going on in your life that you're unhappy with is a result of something that's taking place inside of you for you to even attract that situation or those people back into your life. You know? So all actions are either going to have a positive outcome or a negative outcome. Negative situations that go unresolved can tie you and bind you to people that you don't need no ties and bonds to, and you'll be dealing with them in the next lifetime to come up. It's called tying knots until the situation is resolved. Over lifetimes, we build up what we call karmic debts. In your physical body, you have a debt, not just from your lifetime, but from past lifetimes. Karmic debts have to be paid. And this is why you come here, to pay that debt and to learn and gain from the experience, to learn compassion, forgiveness, and ultimately learn how to love. Now, one thing that we do in my household over here at Black Alchemy, we burn what's called ancestor money. Exactly what it is, ancestor money. We burning money for the ancestors, right? And with that ancestor money, as we burning it and we speaking our words, so we speaking our prayers to our spirit guides and our ancestors, what they can actually do with that on the other side of the spirit realm is actually pay all karmic debt off. So that if they do incarnate back here, there's less things that they have to correct. Excuse me. So over lifetimes, we build up what's called karmic debt. In your physical body, you have debt, not just from your lifetime or who you are today, but as a result of many lifetimes, right? Karma is experienced in what we call attachments. Let me talk about that. Hold on. Before I go to that, let me talk about this. We're talking about karmic debts, right? You can deal with karmic debt from an ancestral perspective, and you could deal with it from a personal aspect or family aspect. Let me say that. I'll change that up. Now, we know that karma means action in Sanskrit, right? It's also called cause and effect. We know that karma is not a punishment, but it is to kind of like put us on our path and help us correct what's going on with us until we get it right. Just like school. You can't move on to the next grade till you complete the grade that you're in now, right? Now, you can accumulate personal karma. Thank you. Ancestors, I see you. Thank you. Y'all to see the orb that y'all. So, personal karma, we do accumulate. And that's why we incarnate here, to get correct and to fix. But ancestral karma is things that's passed down genetically and spiritually from family lineage that we have to correct. Right? Yo, one time I was building with a Moor in a barbershop. And I was explaining to the Mo, I was like, yo, it's crazy. I gotta come here and fix something that one of my ancestors messed up on. And the Mo looked at me and said, hey Mo, what make you think you ain't the one that messed it up in the first place? Yo, I felt little because it resonated with me so strong. I felt small, man. And guess what, man? In the past, I did something. I hindered somebody learning. But I'm going to correct that. Know what I'm saying? But that ancestral karma thing or that family karma that's passed down, sometimes we look at it like it's a generational curse. Things like being addicted to drugs, alcohols, certain diseases that's found in that family lineage. You know, this could be a result of some type of karma or some type of action that needs to be corrected, especially for a family. Because in my family, they got high blood pressure. But the way I don't deal with it, I had a 100% change of diet. With certain things I just don't eat that family members might eat that might be causing them to get ill or feel sick about certain things. Like me, I don't eat meat. I haven't had meat in 11 years. You know what I'm saying? Trying to avoid that. But certain things have to be corrected. Certain things have to be broken. So yeah, you do have your personal and you do have your lineage or your generational curse, ancestral karma that's passed on. Now, we experience karma, to get back on track with that, because my Mars is in Aries and I'll be over the place, so I gotta have notes. But we experience karma through what we call attachments. Fears, expectations, obsessions, desires, wants, needs, alcohols, drugs, sugars, sex, unhealthy diets, family, lineage DNA. Things that we just so love the most. What you love the most, the thing that you desire the most, is the thing that's going to teach you and put you in a position where you got to correct those karmas. Anything that you value, your karma is going to come through. You know, we all want to reach spiritual enlightenment that breaks the wheel of karma, but attachments has to be let go. For real, and that's what I'm saying. We have to be careful because you actually trying to bind yourself to somebody that you ain't got to be with. And then you got to deal with that. So be careful of them interactions. I have to learn to be careful of my interactions. Being an Aries. Because, you know, we fly right off. And it might not be no serious, but that's something that's gained through wisdom. Because once the Aries hit the age of like 30s or 33s like that, a lot of that fire is never gone, but it you know, calms down some. So attachments, right? Or ties or binds to people. Yo, let me give you an example. We all can watch the news and see where somebody was murdered, somebody was slain, and it's easy to feel sad for the victim. But what if I told you on the flip of a coin, in a past life, the victim in this lifetime was actually the murderer in a previous lifetime? Crazy, right? Because guess what? That's a contract, an agreement that was agreed on by both parties. Highly involved beings will incarnate into a body mentally and physically to learn patience, dependency, and learn how to humble themselves. Someone who causes abuse or death to a child can come back to experience the same abuse and death that they caused. They will be the victim in the lifetime to come. All karma is not bad. You get rewarded for your good, and you're going to get rewarded for your bads. Now, I said earlier about the whole victim this lifetime, but you was the one that committed the crime in the past lifetime. And I said about it being agreement, right? The agreement that was made in what we call soul groups. In Ifa, we say Egbe, your spiritual family. Because you got to remember, everything that we're doing here is about gaining experience. That goes back to the all, but we'll talk about that on another one. So everything about life here in the third dimension, while you're in your physical body, is about gaining the experience to raise your frequency and raise your vibrations and take you to higher levels. So guess what? You're not going to get it all in one lifetime. No, because remember, finite bodies, they break down. So guess what? To complete your mission, you got to be born again. You wonder where Christians get that from? You got to be born again. Yeah, you got to come back and experience this. It's more than a one lifetime thing. Matter of fact, who you are today is not only based on what you did this lifetime, but previous lifetimes. Real talk. So, a lot of times we talking about this thing about coming into lives and past lives and reincarnations. One of the things that come up the most that people like to talk about is talking about soulmates, twin flames, or karmics. A soulmate is someone that we share connections with. It could be a teacher, it could be a parent, it could be a child. Anyone that has an impact on your life in a positive way. Twin flame. One flame is split into two. And you're trying to bring it back together. It's more of an energetic connection when it comes to the twin flame. It's an energy thing. It's a magnetic thing. It's something that's pulling you all together. I say this all the time. The thing that attracts you about the opposite sex is really an aspect of yourself that you were separated from, that you're just dying to get back to. Then, on the flip side of that, we have what's called a karmic. A karmic is a situation or situations that bring opposition and hard times into your life. See, you got to remember, all this was agreed on in your spiritual group or in the ancestral realm. These are contracts that must be fulfilled. These are lessons that must be learned. The karmic that you're going through, it just seems like you're always bumping heads. Always bumping heads. Bam, 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 bam. Every time you turn around. Opposition. It's a lesson to be learned. Nothing personal spiritually. even though physically it feel like it is. It teaches hard lessons, and its oppositions is always about somebody having an issue or somebody not liking somebody or some real beef. Now, most of the time we think of a soulmate as a lover, but like I said, they could be a parent, child, teacher, somebody that you run into that might drop some jewels on you to set you in the path that you need to go. Twin flames, more energetic, like I said. It's an attraction thing that's trying to pull y'all back together. Y'all feel so deep. It's like a deep feeling thing with a twin flame. You know what I'm saying? Just dying to get back to form that union and becoming one again. Y'all think alike. It's your real air light. Your twin flame is really your air light. And the thing is with that, you're always gonna find yourselves coming back around each other in the previous life, past lives, and future lives. You know, deja vu, flashbacks is what we call tapping back into like reincarnation. You gotta come in, you gotta do it. And basically what I'm saying with all this, like I said before, we on borrowed time. What are you gonna leave behind? Are you gonna leave behind a legacy of positive change? Or are you gonna leave negative stumbling blocks? But it's based on your actions. You know what I'm saying? It's reincarnation. We can't do it in one lifetime. Not gonna happen. And the beauty about it is that we all ascended masters. You know what I'm saying? And one day we're gonna get there. It might take a couple of lifetimes to do it, but eventually you get it done. And then guess what? When your work is done here, in this realm, you got other work to do in other realms. That's the science behind it. I had a very wise Moor breaking down to me one time. You know, he did it from a biblical aspect when he was talking about Jesus, or Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? And how Jesus came here and went through what he went through to be sacrificed. The Son of God to be sacrificed. Taking on the sins of mankind, right? Taking on the sins of mankind. Not man, but mankind. Something to think about. But taking on the sins of mankind. So to go through what Jesus went through, right? I ain't trying to sound all spooky and religious on y'all, but to go through what Jesus went through to the point where he had to be sacrificed on the cross, the way the allegory, the story goes, what kind of karma was he paying from a previous life or previous lives if he the Son of God? You know what I mean? Think about it. If y'all hear some noise, man, I got a lot of people in the house. Children all over the place. And orbs and ancestors floating around too, if you can see them. You know what I'm saying? But what kind of karmatic debt did Jesus have to pay to come here and go through what he had to go through, what he had to teach, and then be turned against and betrayed and hung on the cross for 3 days? Even the Son of God in allegory couldn't get away from reincarnation, because remember, he died and came back 3 days later. So reincarnation is very popular. It's nothing spooky. We can prove it with science, because the consciousness, the soul, the spirit cannot be destroyed. It has to exist somewhere. It's all about paying off your karmatic debts and learning your lessons to elevate you on higher levels spiritually. Paying them debts, learning them lessons, learning them experiences. That's what it comes down to. And the reason I want to talk about it, man, because for real, like I said, and I'm going to keep stressing the fact that we're on borrowed time. Right now, 2020, man, coronavirus, and a lot of people are not making it, not just from that, but I'm saying like, yo, somebody could walk out the house and get hit by a car according to whatever your contract that you set up. Some people might get sick. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might be a victim of a crime, of a murder or something like that. You know, you're not promised. Nobody promised. But the reason you're not, because it's an agreement that you set up. And by looking at that natal chart, their birth chart, if somebody's, studied well enough, they can tell when you're going to make your transition. It'll show and how. Unfortunately, I know how I make mine. But that's not something that I will actually encourage people to go look at and doing, because you still got things you need to do here on your borrowed time. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us waste time. I waste time. We get so caught up in the human thing. And that's the trick that society has played on us. We become so human that we actually neglect the spiritual and metaphysical aspects of who we really are and why we're really here. We on borrowed time and the clock is ticking. What are you going to leave behind? What debts are you going to clear? How are you going to make it better for your next incarnation? I throw them questions out there. Peace.